send me the bill. It's all good.
Okay, got you.
But
All right, well, okay, got you. We should be good now. All right, so go ahead and give your spiel, Drew.
musically, just been doing it forever. Always played in churches growing up, since 11, 12. My first go-go band was actually a gospel go-go band, Exodus. And I started playing with them when I was actually like 13 or 14. I started playing the keyboard for them. So after Exodus, I played a couple instruments. I played the keyboards and I played the congos, drums, stuff like that. Then more go-go, played congo for Subtle Thoughts for a couple years. And after that, when I started playing with TCB, when I made the little Michael Jackson song, and then Polo hit me up. So I played with TCB after that, and that's that.
That was before TCB. I remember that.
What?
Now, I said I remember that Michael Jackson. That thing used to stay on the radio going on.
Oh yeah, John was like,
I didn't realize that was before TCB though. I thought that was after TCB.
Nah, that's when like TCB knew about me, because I didn't even know who a TCB was. Like, cause I was like more in the grown and sexy circle. I had just finished playing with Subtle Thoughts, and I was just like, in my studio just making stuff. Like I knew bounce beat was the new wave, and all the people that used to come to the studio you used to play it. So when I made a song, I just made it, and then Polo, he got in touch with me, him and Tony T.
Okay.
On YouTube, and then they was like, but he called me. I was like, we made the bounce beat, blah blah blah. I'm trying to hit the song, blah blah blah, and I came to the practice, blah blah blah. So it just all went from there.
Gotcha. Cool. All right, and so, and I mean, I guess this was for both of you. Like, what was it that made you decide to? Well, first of all, let me back up a little bit. So, Ant, you played with like 17 bands. What made you go from each band to the next? And I'm asking this because, like, the premise of the show is the future of go-go, and I don't want to like dwell on the negative stuff, but I do want to get into the, sort of the psychology, if you will, of why people decide to move from different bands. What's the decision-making process around, like what's attractive to people in go-go and what's not? Like, why do you make the decisions that you make?
I mean, so for everybody's situation is different, as far as why they choose to do, as far as play one band to the next band. But for me, I feel like it's been a little bit of some decisions was, just based off personal, sometimes with certain people in the band, y'all ain't always gonna see eye to eye or whatever, and it's just better for everybody just to go on about their ways and just keep moving. It's no love lost, but this just every relationship not gonna always have that chemistry with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Other times it may be like, hey, if I feel like it's a better move for me, you know what I'm saying, and if that's what it is, then yeah, that's pretty much as far as for me.
Got you. So I'm going to try to get a little like dig in a little bit. This is like this interview is cursed. Like first it was the popcorn, then Drew couldn't get on. Now my smoke detector. My wife took the battery out of the smoke detector and it's still beeping, which I don't even know how that's possible. But yeah, so sorry about that. But so what? Damn, why I keep flipping this this joint around? So, like, when you say you had, you don't have to get into like, I didn't like this dude because he did this a specific thing, but just kind of, what are some of the things that like, what were some of the friction points? Like, what were some of the things?
I feel like some of the friction points is like, when it comes to Gogo, you got a lot of people that think small-minded. They don't think outside of the box as far as the potential that Gogo has. You get what I'm saying? So it's like people, they just want to stay as far as doing everybody else's song instead of being original and doing their own songs. So like I've always said, okay, let's say for instance, if a major record label was to be like, okay, we want to hear what your band sound like. They don't want to hear what their own artists sound like. You covering their song, they want to hear what y'all own sound. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of people, they be like, nah, it's all about what the fans want. But at the end of the day, you got to think long term, like if you what you really trying to get out of this situation.
Mhm.
You know,
Right.
some people just be like, okay, they just doing it for a hobby. They just doing it for some small money. But I'm like, at the end of the day, Gogo definitely has the potential if it's done in the right way to be so much bigger than what it is. If people stop looking at it as, oh yeah, we just gonna do this person's song, instead of doing their own thing and make it with your own. At the end of the day, you can't lose when it is your own. You can't lose like that.
Yeah.
So is that what sort of pushed you into like producing on your own, doing your own stuff?
Yeah, I've always been producing on my own. But as far as every band I play with, I've made my songs with those bands. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, it's like people, they say at the beginning, okay, yeah, we want to do the original music, blah, blah, blah. And then you end up falling back to doing everything that's on the radio, which is cool. But at the end of the day, it's like it defeats the purpose. At the same time, you're not going to do your own as well. It's like it's cool to have a mixture of both. But if all you're going to do is just strictly radio stuff and never had nothing that, is known for yours, that completely defeats the purpose.
So would it be that you got in the band and they say, we're trying to do more than just play at hot shops or whatever, and then things change? Or would you already know from the beginning?
Some bands already knew, like, okay, this is their lane. Like, yeah, that's cool. Other bands is like, they say initially, yeah, this is the type of direction that we want to move in. But then, just because it's Gogo, you got a lot of other people, different egos that come into play, and one other person may be like, nah, I'm not going to do that, or what, let's just go with what we know instead of stepping outside the box. And when you step outside the box, you got the potential to you create your own lane at that point to do what others ain't doing.
For sure. How about you, Drew? What were your? I mean, you don't have to be super specific, but sort of like what were some of the reasons why you decided to move from one band to the next? You had a wild swing of genres. You went from gospel to grown and sexy to straight bounce. Like that's a hell of a progression.
Yeah, and it kind of like it all happened like organically, kind of. It's like the whole gospel go-go band thing, it's like I was already in church, you know what I'm saying? So I used to play all the instruments in the church, and I already did everything in the church. So it's like they had a gospel go-go band. So it's like I just went to that. Like that was the first place that I actually heard go-go. Like we used to have Friday night jams and all this stuff. And they used to have like go-go's at the church.
Wait, so how old were you when this was happening?
I was like 12, 13.
So you had never heard Gogo before you were 12?
Nah, because I was in my family was like religious, so they kept, it was no worldly music in the house.
Wow. Not no secular. I got you.
Yeah, ain't no shaking, ain't no nothing. So I ain't hear nothing until I ain't hear Gogo till I was in the church, and that's where I heard it from. And so then after that, it's just like, the go-go band kind of, after we, did what we did, like everybody moved into their own little lanes. And then, like I said, one day me and Tyrone Delano, he had took me out to a club. And I think it was my birthday or something. And he was like, man, play the congos. So he had told whatever the lead mic was to let me play. And I was like, nah. So anyway, I ended up getting up there and playing. And Daryl, that played with Subtle Thoughts at that time, he had seen me, him and Camise.
Keyboard player?
Yeah, because they was playing with the band. I think it was Publicity at that time.
Okay.
And so they, took me to the side and was like, look, we was looking for a Congo player or whatever. So I met with Walker Reds. And then so like that just happened. Like, so I was like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? So I was playing them for a while. But just like how Ant was saying, the reason why I ended up leaving Subtle is because like I used to always make songs. So then after a while, me playing Congo, stuff like that, like I went from Congos to I started rapping a little bit for them. So I was like, okay, I want to start making songs, like original songs. So I brought it to practice. I would have it, have it already done. And then, people in practice be like, why would we just do what you say? You know what I'm saying? With certain people, and I'd be like, I mean, it's there. Like, why not? And then they was like, nah, we just gonna keep playing what's on the radio. That's what people want to hear. That's what's hot, and that's what we're gonna do. And I was just like, what? So then that's when I had stopped. Then that's when I had started flooding. Just I kept making songs studio. Then that's when I made the Michael Jackson joint. Like I said, I just put it out, and then I got a call from TCB. You know what I'm saying? So it was like everything kind of just happened like organically. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't
So how did you go from like playing congos and subtle thoughts to I'm gonna make a bounce beat record?
Like I said, I was always I was always a musician and I was a producer. Like I always had keyboards. I made beats on keyboards and stuff like that. So Congo, like usually when you're a musician, you do more than one thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got, a couple things you do. It's just whatever you focus on and are good at. So at that time, like everybody knew me for playing congos. So then, but some people knew like they would come to my house and listen to songs. I would, bring stuff to the table, bring my keyboard. I would bring my big motif to practice and like, listen to this, and I just play it, and then it'll be like a whole put together song. So it was just something that I always did.
Gotcha. Okay, that's interesting. That was sort of the same thing that happened with me with solo, and I just was like, man, I don't, because Northeast Groove was turning into solo, and the agenda was play all cover songs, and I just was like, man, that's not what I signed up for. Like, I'm not really trying to do that forever. You know what I mean? So that's when I ended up moving to Vegas and moved out to LA the first time. So I definitely understand how that goes. But so for you, it wasn't really like personality clashes or anything like that. It was more just what you were trying to do.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, but sometimes it's like the personality clashes get into that. It wasn't like I got into it with nobody. It was just their thinking was different. And like, when you're trying to be on one accord, trying to do something, like your thinking got to be aligned a little bit. Right. So somebody thinking this way and thinking that way, it's like, well, y'all got that. I'm trying to do this. You know what I'm saying? It was all good.
Gotcha. Well, sounds like, that's sort of like the purpose of this whole series as well, is that the thinking that you guys are both describing, it's not wrong. It's just one way of thinking, and it is not conducive to to national and international success for the genre, because you can only go so far with that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So the sort of
say it again.
I'm just saying that I'm not saying that people that think that we want to do cover songs, we want to play what the crowd wants to hear, we want to, I don't want to say take the easy route, because it's not easy, but it's easier. Mm-hmm. It's pretty prevalent thought process, within the DMV area, mm-hmm. And that's kind of. Kisa, I know we already took the battery out. My wife has been Googling. I don't know what the hell to do. It just won't stop fucking. Yeah, we've already taken the battery out. Sorry, people are complaining. Well, I have to say people. One particular person is complaining about the smoke alarm. We know it's beeping. She's trying to get it figured out right now. The battery is literally sitting on the bed, so I don't know why. No.
It's a new battery.
Oh, there's a new battery in there now, and it's still
beeping. The only other thing is
I think mine chirping too.
Okay, yeah. So the only other option is to remove the smoke detector completely, and that's just not an option right now. So sorry about that. We're just gonna have to deal with
it too. Let me close the door all the way, just to make sure.
Oh, is yours beeping too?
I think so.
See, this is when it would be good. But see, you're an electrician. You should know how to fix yours. I'm not an electrician, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I close the door. I ain't trying to look at it right now.
I can dig it. Well, apologies to everybody for the beeping. It's really fucking annoying, and I apologize if I get thrown off course of my questioning, because it's pretty difficult to focus with that thing beeping in my ear. So it sounds to me like both of you guys had a bigger agenda for Gogo, or for what you wanted to do with Gogo than the people that were in the bands that you were dealing with. So, having said that,
But I will only say that with like that one band.
with one, okay, so just was subtle. But
So
so that
it don't
wasn't
go for every band. You know, you got some bands that's just like, okay, we rather just be here. You got other bands that are willing to put in the work. You know what I'm saying? To take it there, it's all about just being consistent with it.
Yeah, and it's just stuff happened. Just like me, it's like with Subtle, and that was back then. Subtle, like this was like over 10 years ago. Subtle, you know what I'm
right.
saying?
Totally
Like,
different band now.
yeah. So that was their thing. But like when I came to TCB, it's like Polo. He had a whole different mindset. You know what I'm saying? So he was like trying to do different stuff and trying to go to that next level, and was, you know what I'm saying, was doing stuff to me like the right. It's like he was. It's like he got it. It's like he had the people that he knew that could do what he wanted, and he would use the people to do. You know what I'm saying? It's like he knew what he wanted and orchestrating stuff. But you know what I'm saying, for you know what I'm saying, for you know, like for that purpose, to like make more original songs, to put more stuff out. It's like he was always thinking ahead. You know what I'm saying? Then you know, just shit happened. And
So in your case, in TCB's case, I assume that, you know, the reason that didn't come to fruition is of course we, you know, tragically lost Polo, and he was visionary in that case. So, and in your case, in the bands that you were in, that you did feel like had a bigger agenda, or what do you think was the holdup? Like what because clearly it hasn't worked for anybody. So what do you think the problem was?
I feel like a lot of times it's too many different egos and too much different opinions, instead of, you know, having especially when it comes to on the people who's supposed to be on a leadership level. You know, you're gonna have, you know, everybody's is one band, one sound, but you know, one person may on the side be, nah, I ain't really feeling this, and then next thing you know, everything just go back, like, you know, first we seemed like we was going ahead, then now we back at square one type stuff. So that's just what it actually seems like to me.
Well, so where do you think those now were those did those people have egos when they started, or is it as the band becomes more popular, that's when the egos start to develop?
I feel like it could be a little bit of both.
Gotcha.
Because some of the bands I played with, they definitely not already had a name before I was even there, you know. So I can't say that for everybody. So it's a little bit of both.
Gotcha. Real quick, everybody that's on Instagram, make sure you head over to gogotalx.co. You can just click on today's episode and click watch, and it'll take you right to the full episode, so you can see the other guys and probably hear a little bit better what they're saying. And to everybody, again, apologies for the smoke detector in the background. That's me. It's my smoke detector. Neither of these guys, but for some reason it just won't stop, even with a no battery, brand new battery. It doesn't matter what's happening, it's just not stopping beeping. So sorry about that. So based on that last question, for both of you, and Drew, you go first. In one sentence, what do you think it would take, or it can be more than one sentence, but what do you think it is going to take for Gogo to be where your vision of it was, you know, on a national, international scale? Like, what do you think needs to be done to make that happen?
well, yeah, this ain't gonna be one sentence, but
All right.
kind of like, I mean, but just to sum it all up, kind of like what Ant was saying, and to me, it seems the reason why Gogo like can't spread, because like I said, in like an entity, is too many people that think they opinion matter or something like that. Okay, so, you know what I'm saying? Then it get into tension and it get into too much, you know, stupid shit that it shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that it needs to be more structured. It's like the music industry, you know, it's like cars roll. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you might make the all battery car, and then, you know, but it's like still that same structure. Like you ain't gonna put no, you know,
You talk about electric car like a Tesla versus
you know what I'm saying? So it's like the music industry already has. It's like the way music works. It's already a way that music works to where it makes money or to where it's popular, and that's, you got producers, you got writers, you got artists. You know what I'm saying? So that's where me and Ant came in, like even in our own perspective, in our own mind. You know what I'm saying? It's like I come in with a song. You know what I'm saying? So I'm the producer. If somebody come in and writes, whatever case may be, they come in and write. But it's that. If the band is just the artist, then the band is the artist. Like we come in with it already ready. Y'all play this. But if you got any tweak or the way, or you know what I'm saying, you might have a little say, or oh, I want to do this, whatever. Cool. But it still needs to be like somebody like that, one person that say, nah, that's gonna go, that's gonna stay. You know what I'm saying? It got to be some kind of structure where it's not just 1,000 people and 5 people raise their hand. They're like, nah. It got to be more structured, because that's the way like music works. You know what I'm saying? And to me, it'll never work being that scattered. So that's why I've took it upon myself to just do it how I do it, where I'm producing. Like right now, I'm producing. I'm putting people on tracks. If they write, then I let them write. Like if they rap, I let them rap. Like, I got a hook for them. I got a hook for them. Then we get people that produce music and whatever. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that hard. The only thing with Gogo is don't nobody know how to really recreate Gogo except people that actually made it. Or that, you know what I'm saying? Like people that actually played it or actually know what it is. So that's when, like I said, people like us come in, because that's the only way that it can get done. So when people try to do it or try to take it to somebody else or whatever, it don't sound authentic, because it's not coming from somebody that really know what they're doing. So it's like they be like, oh, whatever. That was just stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it does, and it happens all the time. Some stuff good, some stuff not so, Like it's a lot of rap stuff that they'll have. Like, like while they do like a lot of rap stuff that has like go-go feels or go-go, stuff, but it ain't, you know what I'm saying? But it still got go-go in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I had Tone P on here a couple weeks ago. He's actually the guy that did most of those records. Like,
exactly.
Yeah, Bait and all those. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I think the actual go-go, because like I feel like go-go is more like kind of like how rock and roll was. You know what I'm saying? It's more of like a live structured, you know what I'm saying? But if you can, produce the live structure, then and you know how it sounds, then just do it. If it sounds good, keep doing it, keep making songs, keep pushing out originals, focus on the originals. Because like remixes and all that stuff is good, but I think the focus needs to be on the original, and I think that just gets into just people being lazy. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody really want to do no work. Like even in the music industry, you got to work. Like the studio, like 24/7, like three, like a job. Like people in bands want to come in, practice for an hour, 2 hours, smoke for 30, smoke for half of the practice, say a quote that they heard from another song, another song that they heard. It's just like, okay, let's go home. It's like, where's the work at? So ain't nothing gonna happen like that except what you getting.
So yeah, that was way more than one sentence. So let me try to sum that up. So your thing is, what's up, Spark? I'm up. Real quick, also Wiley B, Chuck Brown's son, who was on last week with me and been watching all these. He said, "Let's work." He's looking for some producers, so he said, "Let's work." So I'll hook that up, Wiley. We'll make that happen. So just to sum that up, basically, your what you think will take Gogo, on a national, international level is structure.
Yes.
Business structure and production.
Yeah, the structure that already is working just in Gogo.
Right. All right. Sounds like somebody I know has said before. Indeed. All right. What about you, Ant? What do you think?
I agree. I definitely agree with Drew. But I feel like pretty much it was like this. If you look at every other genre of music, it's like you already had the roadmap in front of you. The format is there. Just look at it like Gogo shouldn't be any different as far as being on a major platform than any other genre of music. It shouldn't be the way it's done. It shouldn't be any different. Just like you said, as far as rock and roll, they still a band. It's a live band, but guess what? They getting paid major money. You know what I'm saying? It could be the same exact way with Gogo, just a different genre of music. It shouldn't be no difference at all. Like, but people don't like that for some reason. You know what I'm saying? That's why That's what I be saying. Like it should be like to the point where like, okay, if a band does a original song, do it like any other genre of music. You should have a video behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like you should be doing it the same type of way. Like it's like, especially Gogo, you got so many people that's connected with Gogo, but I feel like people in Gogo don't even take it as serious, which is why it's not, on the level that it could be, because people who do it don't even take it that serious, but then they get mad if somebody from the outside was to come in and be like, shit, we gonna stamp this and we gonna take Gogo, and now it's gonna be national. Then everybody have a problem with it. It's only because y'all didn't take it seriously, or just even do it on the way for anybody else more major than you to take it seriously. The one that come and be like, oh shit, you gonna put this on.
Right.
That's what
Okay. Well, so speaking of like keeping it authentic, and then also like moving it forward, what is like from a musical standpoint, not a business standpoint, what have you guys found are the challenges in sort of recreating the sound of what is traditionally a sound of live instrumentation? Like just like you said, Drew, which I think is 100% true. Like some random dude from Ohio is not just going to come up and like know how to make a bounce beat record or a crank record or whatever, like from his basement. So what are the specific challenges that you face from a musical production standpoint and moving the sound forward to how you guys have done, but also keeping that authenticity? Either whoever wants to go first is fine.
You want to go first?
Sure.
I'm about to say, for me, musical challenges. I don't know about that one. Come back to me on that one. You got to give me a second to think about that.
I got stuff for that. I think the challenges that I have ran into with Gogo, because first of all, it's like, okay, I'm trying to do a Gogo song. So then I try to record a band. So then you go in Rios or something like that, and you record a band. You get all on Pro Tools, and then you come home, whatever, you like do whatever. But a band is never going to be like timed right. And that's one of the things like in producing. It's like, like these beats that's on the radio and everything.
Well, never going to be time right unless you record to a click, which is what we did with Mambo Sauce and what everybody else does. But Gogo bands don't do that.
But what my point. So
they should.
They should. But like how like talks about this. It also, it's like in the Gogo, it's like you also got to put money behind the stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody, it's like go to Rios, go to wherever, and they good practice spots, whatever the case may be. But just like how y'all had to do that, y'all had to go to what? Right Way Studios and pay how much? You know what I'm saying?
Roughly $1,500 a song is what we paid for Mambo Sauce.
Exactly. And that's to have a live band, do it on the click, and you know what I'm saying, and doing all that. And that was one main key opponent. You know what I'm saying? So that's why now how I got it is, I do, like all the samples are live, but it's still like on the machine to where you could play it like on a drum pad or whatever, but like everything, is I get the livest sound that I can find. One thing that I have is it's like in the instruments that go like the Congos sample. I found like good Congo samples, but I can't find a good timbali sample. So I still got to play the real timbales because that sound that like we know that we want to hear from timbales and Gogo, it ain't like no real samples for them that I have found. It's like, you try and it's cool, but it ain't really, you know what I'm saying? It ain't really hitting like that unless it's some real joints. So on my most recent joints, I didn't, I can't substitute like the real timbale. I just gotta, but now I got it to where, they all mic'd up and I can record them and quantize them and all that, in that. So it's all like, it's a bunch of technical stuff for me.
Well, no, that's what I'm getting. I mean, I don't want to get too geeked out, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, that's like creating the sound of what Gogo is a real problem with, with getting, spreading it out. And so I want to make sure we touch on that. And did that give you any sort of ideas of?
Oh yeah, definitely. Now you talking about music wise? I say for me personally, I do when it comes to like producing my stuff, I do everything right here. Like I don't even me. I'm a drummer myself, but I do everything on the keyboards. Everything with Fruity Loops, the whole 9 yards. Like I don't even use no other front line if I don't got to. I use myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I say that would probably be another issue as far as that. Just getting like if you want to feature, having to wait on other people, do all that type things. Like you say, be like, okay, I want to get it. Let's just say, for example, I want to get Big G on the song or something. You know what I'm saying? I got to work around somebody else's schedule and all that. Just issues, little things like that. But as far as me, production wise, I just do everything right here because I already know how it is when it comes to having to try to get a band behind you. Like I prefer it, but hey, if I can't, then hey, I'm gonna just take it upon myself and do it like that.
So that begs the question that I asked this to Donnell Floyd, I asked Killer Cal, I asked I forget some other people on this interview series. Do you need a band to be Gogo?
Nope, not at all.
Nah, not to be Gogo. Like nah.
Okay. All right. Well, real quick, so big time supporter of the show, Old School Queenie, has two sort of comments that I would like you guys to comment on. So she says, no matter the structure of the music being played on mainstream, no matter the structure of music not being played on mainstream radio, Gogo will not reach. And then she said, live or not, original or not, mainstream radio will not add you to their rotation, so you won't get recognized. How do you? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, yeah. I feel like everybody has their, opinion. I don't agree with that, and it's just like how you said. I mean, music is music, and I think any genre of music can be anything. It just has to be made. So it's like a never say never.
Well, I think what she's saying is that even if you structure the songs correctly, even if you make a video, if radio doesn't play the songs, if you don't get any support from mainstream radio, then you might as well hang it up. Is basically.
I disagree with that because I'll put it to you like this. You don't need the radio. The way things is nowadays, you can completely be independent without the radio and still have a huge buzz. You don't need the radio. And the way, especially around here, the way these radio stations around here, they're gonna be the ones who gonna wait till you be the one who have the buzz first. Then they be like, oh yeah, now let's play them. You know what I'm saying? When initially
that's not radio stations in DC. That's radio stations everywhere. The radio stations
unless you got like somebody major like pushing your shit, it's gonna take for you, for you to be independent at first and build your own platform and all that. And then that's when they gonna come up behind you. And then after that, they wanna, support you. But you could definitely do it yourself. You don't need radio. Nah, that's not needed. It's a plus, but it's not needed.
Right. Well, so I agree. I think that obviously Marlo Sauce had a lot of radio success. You know what I mean? So that definitely did help us. I'm not saying radio is totally unnecessary, but it is absolutely 100% the last step in the process and not the first. And I sort of get, I talk to a lot of people on, the Gogo message boards and stuff like that. And I interviewed Cato Hammond, who's the owner of T-Mot Gogo, the Gogo historian, probably a month ago or so on this show. And he and I always bump heads about this particular topic in a friendly way. That's my man, no beef or anything. But he says the same thing all the time, that, well, radio doesn't play us. And so we can't get this and we can't get Gogo on the radio. It doesn't matter anymore. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not to say that it's basically like the cherry on top. You know what I mean? There's so many other ways to get your music out. There's SoundCloud, there's Spotify, there's TikTok, there's Instagram, there's YouTube, what's that?
No, I was about to say, and then I think that when people say the radio don't play us, the radio don't play go-go, blah, blah, the only reason they don't play the go-go that, that's current is because it ain't up to standard to play. It's like, what are you going to play on the radio? Just like how you said, Mambo Sauce had a lot of success on the radio. Why was that? Because they had whatever. So it can work on the radio.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's just, you just got to do it right.
Right. Exactly. Well, yeah. Yeah. So, so I mean, that's exactly my thing, is that you have to have something, you have to have a great song like that is getting some traction. Like, I think people want to, feel like there's sort of a shortcut. I'm not talking about you, Queenie, necessarily, but there is sort of a mentality in the DMV music scene that I made a song, support me, play my shit. And it doesn't work that way. Like, you have to create some interest in what you're doing, and you have to not to keep harping on Mambo Sauce because whatever, but you could also say the same thing about what you did with the Michael Jackson joint, Drew, is that it was so different from everything else that was, the first song we put out 4 or 5 songs before we put out Miracles, and Miracles was the first song to hit, and it was a positive song. And it was over timbales, and the singer could sing, the rapper could rap, the song was structured. If you listen to it from a production standpoint, I don't know of any other Gogo record that were Gogo records. I mean, and I'm probably going to get skewered for saying this, but I don't know any other Gogo records that had the level of production that, Miracles and Welcome to DC did. I mean, if you really listen, like most of the bigger Gogo, most of them, and I'm not saying all, but there are some, of course, but most of the Gogo records that are popular are really just everybody playing all at the same time. And if you listen to the Mambo Sauce record, the timbales don't come in until the pre-hook. A different guitar lick comes in at the second half of the, there's something new happening every single 4 to 8 bars or whatever in the throughout the song. So,
and that was structure, and that was all thought out, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. And I got to give credit to my man Steve from Right Way Studios in Baltimore, because he taught me that. I didn't know that going in. You know what I mean? He taught me that as we were going along. I mean, I had a very defined vision for what I was trying to do and producing it that way, but he was the one that taught me. Because I came from the Gogo, everybody plays all at the same time. Like, that's just what you do. And he, he's the one that kind of really showed me, now you got to take this out and put it back in again here and do this, because you always got to have something that is interesting to the person's ear, to the listener's ear. And even if it's sort of in the subconscious and if it's really low in the mix, there's something going on, that they can start to grab onto, you know what I mean? Whereas traditionally Gogo is just, like I said, every single person in the band playing all at the same time, 5 vocalists, everybody lines their verses up one right after the other, and the song structure isn't there, because there is a formula for song structure. I mean, there's multiple formulas, but there are formulas for song structure in pop music. And when I say pop music, I mean hip hop or pop, any kind of music that is popular, not just Britney Spears type pop music. But Gogo doesn't use that format. And I think that is great when you're playing live, because the format of Gogo is perfect for live. But with Gogo, instead of creating a record in the studio and then taking the formula that we know works live and using it when we perform it live, we do it the other way around. We try to take what we do live and put it on the record. And that's why it never works. You know what I mean? Nobody in like Poughkeepsie, New York wants to hear about 14th and Clifton all day long because they don't know what it is. You know what I mean? I mean, unless you're doing it in a way, I mean, there's an argument that could be made for that, because one of my favorite groups of all time is Mobb Deep, and all they did was talk about Queensbridge all day long in every single song. You know what I mean? but they did it in a way that fit within the story of the song. They didn't just say Queensbridge, 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 you know, where y'all at, Queensbridge. You know what I'm saying? It was part of the story. You know what I mean? They were telling a story through the song. So, I mean, I think there's a way to do it. There's a way to incorporate those shout outs and stuff like that. But I just don't think that doing it on the record is the best way to do it. So what are you guys like working on now? Like, what's the what's the agenda? What's the plan? What's the deal?
You want to go first?
Yeah, as far as me, I'm still working on my own stuff. Showing them how to crank volume 3. You know, it's just me, a couple other people from different bands here and there. But and as far as right now, I've been doing a lot of, since the coronavirus going on or whatever, I've been doing just a lot of producing CCB stuff, just like right here. You know what I'm saying? That's like, nah, I could just make the beat right here, and we just use the front line and just go from there. And that way, like you said, it's so much easier to do it that way without having. I don't need 10 people right here when I'm like, hey, y'all know what y'all want to do or how y'all want to do it. I send something to y'all. Y'all tell me what you think. We could just do it like that. It's a lot easier that way. And then when it comes time to play live, we can do it however we want to do it.
Right. Okay. Cool. How about you, Drew?
Right now, I'm just working on a like an all original, kind of like an EP, probably like a good 5 or 6 joint. And I just want to, like how you said, I've done a lot of stuff. Like I played congos, I've been bounce beat, you know what I'm saying? I do regular stuff. So, the project I want to put out, it's going to have like a little bit of congos, a little bit of the bounce beat stuff. Just like a little bit of everything, a little bit of like crossover stuff, sound like a rock a little bit. So just doing that, just in the studio, working with people from other bands. I always have, Bo from TCB. He always come over. We shoot ideas across. He came over. We did some original joints. We did some remixes. Just working with other people. And like it's like sometimes when I'm doing beats, like I'll have certain musicians come in that's like good at their craft. Like let's say for Gogo, it's like a prevalent thing. Gogo is like like the live bass. Or the, in my case, like I like the live bass of that like especially in bounce.
Hold on, what does it sound like again?
And I ain't doing that again. Yeah, but like it just good. You know what I'm saying? Like live, and just like that whole live feel of it, and like even with that, and like the live guitar. So I'll have Mel come over, Smooth, Jody, Jet. And like just do some stuff on some tracks, and just do it like that. And so just working. So basically, like I said, I'm working on a all original EP, and just collaborating, doing stuff with other things.
Can I make a suggestion to you that you, of course, are free to listen to or not?
Yes.
I was going to do a video actually, and I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to do it about why versatility is death. And what I mean by that is a lot of specifically in Gogo, a lot of highly accomplished musicians feel that it is a good thing to show that, hey, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this, I can do that, I can play drums, I can play congas, I can play guitar, I can play jazz, I can play rock, I can play R&B, I can do all of these things. Mm-hmm. Coming from a marketing and a booking standpoint, which is where, obviously I'm a producer too, but coming from the marketing, taking off my creative cap and putting on my business cap, that is a recipe for, I hate to say this, but being ignored. Because the goal of, if you're trying to become a successful musician, I keep flipping this camera around. What you're trying to do is build a fan base. That's really what it is, right? So in order to build a fan base, you have to talk to, and when I say talk to, I mean target your music to and target your branding to a group of people. And if you are saying, I got a rock song, I got an R&B song, I got a Congo song, I got a bounce song, I got a this song, I got a that song, you have to spread your net so wide that it's going to cost you $1 billion to reach all of those people. You know what I mean? As opposed to if you say, I am creating this very specific, bounce beat type of style, or this, I'm doing the congas, or I'm doing the, the jazz go-go, Jogo, there's a Jogo project, or I'm doing, what I mean? Whatever it is. I'm not saying that you can do whatever you want. I'm just saying that you're going to spin your wheels trying to market to somebody, because this is imagine this. Imagine I'm from Ohio, right? Mm-hmm. And I hear Really Not Scared. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, but this is the Michael Jackson song. I'm like, man, that shit is hit. That's crazy. That's tight. And then the next song I hear from you is like some slow R&B, subtle thoughts kind of thing. And I'm just like, that ain't really what I thought I was signing up for. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that it's totally impossible to do this. I'm just saying that if you have a choice, and I'm not suggesting that you don't get your art out in a way that, fulfills you from a creative perspective. But what I'm saying is what I would do if I were you is I would do an all bounce project. I would do an all Congo project, because it's really literally two different types of people that's targeting. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's like, like you know what I'm saying? Like, so the more specific you can get about who you're marketing to, the easier it's going to be to get to those people. And then it doesn't mean that later on you can't do another project that appeals to different people. But anyway, that's my advice that you can, take or throw in the trash or whatever you want to do. I'm just trying to save you a little time, just because marketing is expensive and it's time consuming and it's difficult. And the way it becomes easier is by picking a very specific target market to go after and attacking that target market consistently. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And then it's like my thoughts and my reasoning, like behind the, the way I want to do it. It's like with everything, even like with Gogo, it's like just like how you said, it's like even with the Congos, like you could have your laid back Congo song, and you could have your cranking Congo song. You could even have a Congo song where it's like the traditional go-go swing, and then you could have a straight beat Congo song. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's like everything can vary, but if it's all in like what you do, then it's like, to me, it's like it ain't really a switch up. It's kind of like a how like it's like when you building something, and like it's like kind of like a go-go show. It's like, say for instance, if you go to a backyard show or whatever, and they'll probably start out singing a song or something like that, then they'll come out with a whatever, and then it just builds from there. And it's not like and they got one crowd, or they got what I'm saying, it's some people that's gonna like it and some people that's not. It's some people you know what I'm saying. And then with that, it's like it's so many different types of people in the world. It's like whoever likes what you do, you know what I'm saying, as long as it's on that same page, to me, it's like it should be cool. It's like if you ain't somebody just like Tupac, like he might make a song talking about some dead mama, he hit him up, you know what I'm saying? But it's still rap music. So like go-go music to me, and then making it and then producing it, it's all got like the same kind of feels in it, but it's just like a step above. It's like Back could hit a song, hello, then they can go into where the bartender, you know what I'm saying?
But that's Gogo. So I'm not talking about specifically Gogo and Gogo fans. We've been trained to recognize both of those things as being connected. But if you played hello for somebody from California, and then you played, the 96 Dope Jam, they're not going to think that's the same band. They're not even going to equate those two things together, even though to us it's totally logical. You know what I'm saying? It totally makes sense to us, but because we grew up with it, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, I'm specifically talking about outside of the market. Sorry, Ant, you wanted to add that?
I see what you're saying, but at the same time, the only reason why I disagree with you saying is because now let's say, for instance, rap. There's so many different variations of rap. Or you got the people who love the hooda. Me personally, that's not my style. I don't care for that, but it's still considered rap under one umbrella. Even though it's like is all considered rap and hip hop, but it's like it's different styles of that genre that people are going to like.
Right, I'm talking about a specific artist doing, like, you're not going to hear like Travis Scott doing like a KRS-One type song. You know what I'm saying? Or doing a like Common, or sounding like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm talking about, a specific artist developing the song.
That same beat. It's like he might get on a KRS-One beat, but still as an artist.
I doubt on an album he's gonna do that. He might do that as like
yeah, I mean, but people do different things.
Artists.
It's like you got.
Here's all I'm saying: go listen to your favorite artist that's out right now. Go listen to their album or their EP and see how far they deviate from a sound. The ones that are successful, and then you can come back and have this conversation again.
Hold on. Let's say for instance, somebody like Drake. He ain't my favorite rapper, but he's clearly proven that it don't matter whatever he touched. First of all, it's
but didn't start like that. It's not about what you can do when you're already a megastar. It's about when he started, when he developed. Like I use Beyonce as an example all the time. Okay, she does Lemonade and she does all this wild rapping and all this shit now, but she didn't do that back in Destiny's Child. They was very focused on a specific sound with Destiny's Child. And then when she became successful with that style and with that sound and stamped it, then you can step off and do something. But what I'm saying is if you're trying to build an audience and you're in 50 different directions, it's hard to grab a fan base because they don't know what to expect from you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that there aren't artists that haven't like stepped outside here and done this, but it was usually after that. I can't point to any artist that did a rock song, a jazz song, a hip hop song, or this song or that song, or a conscious rapper that also did some hood ratchet shit. You know what I'm saying? All over the place, and did that and became successful doing that. They might have done that after they already built their established fan base.
Yeah. Now, like maybe if it's like saying it like that. It's cool, and I think you probably took it's like what I was saying, probably like in the wrong context. Like I'm not saying I'm making like I'm gonna make a rap song here and then a rock gospel song here. No, it's just like different kinds of music that's still all under the Gogo umbrella. Because
I get it.
Only got a certain amount of beats and a certain amount of you know what I'm saying? Because like you got your bounce beat, which is basically the same beat. You know what I'm saying? You can only do a certain amount of songs bounce beat. You know what I'm saying? So you got to switch it up. So you might do some back beat.
You can make unlimited amount of bounce beats. Like you know what I'm saying?
Like I did. It's like it still was like a same sound, but like say for instance, if y'all could do a Congo joint, but then you can go and do a joint, but it still was the same like structured and like the same basic sound, but you still went from one sound to another. But it was just all under that same umbrella. So of course, that's like my still idea. Is it all still because like it's like all my joint, I still got like a rock guitar. I still got whatever. It might be a Congo. Like I ain't gonna be saying like "Lullaby Baby" in one song and then I'm ready to kill somebody in another song. Like everything is still relevant, but it's still all under the Gogo umbrella. And you know what I'm saying, we'll see.
I'm just saying. Somebody keep your heart 3 stacks on Instagram said all of Drake's records sound the same though. I don't know if that's. I mean, I've heard all this, but
another thing that made me a big believer in that, it's like when I made the Michael Jackson song, it was like so many comments that people was like, I don't even like Gogo, or I don't even like bounce beat, but I like this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you do something right, I'm pretty sure with y'all too. It's like a lot of people probably say, "Oh, I don't like Gogo, I don't like that, but I like this." because you did it right and because you made, you know what I'm saying? So as long as you're doing it in that perspective, I think whatever, you know, like your people that you're drawn to or whatever, because you can put stuff out now. Because like how you said, it's the internet. So like a lot of stuff you put out and like a lot of people are going to draw to you. And so it's like whatever crowd you draw, like it might be a mix, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But like you still going to draw something to you. And whether it starts from Gogo and then it gets bigger after that or whatever, it's like you, whatever you put out, you going to draw who you draw. And then, you know, it's going to be like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think that for us, there's a big difference between the sound of Subtle Thoughts and the sound of TCB, or that there's not so much of a big difference for us between the sound of TCB and Subtle Thoughts. There is, but we also know that they come from the same family. I'm just saying when you step outside of the DMV, that distinction is far more severe because somebody that's listening to Subtle Thoughts would not even understand that TCB comes from the same roots. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So all I'm saying is if your objective is to say again.
I'm saying, I ain't mean to interrupt you, but that's what I'm saying. But that's why you give them a little bit of both. Like let's say for TCB, they, you know, they gonna switch it up. They gonna give you a pocket beat. They gonna give you a bounce beat. That's letting you know, like, listen, these two beats may sound different, but at the end of the day, it's still Gogo, regardless of which one you listening to. So you got people fans.
Right, what I'm saying is that the same. It's gonna be a very rare situation for you to find somebody from Detroit that's gonna like both of those sounds. So the minute they hear one that they like, and then you play the next song and they don't like that one, then you just lost them already. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I'm saying is that trying to, and it's a very I get where you guys are coming from. It's a very musician thing to say. Well, I mean, it's very, you know, like people want to hear all these different things. But I'm just telling you from someone who's been doing this for a very long time, from a marketing standpoint, trying to be all things to all people. And I know that it doesn't seem like, you know, TCB, like, because we're also used to starting with a slow song and then warming it up until the end of the first set and then start over again with a slow song and go hard all the way to the end. But that's a live music concept. Yeah. That's not a record concept. You know what I'm saying? So playing all those songs within a set, that's based upon how am I going to get this party going? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But when you're creating a record, that's a totally different strategy. It's not about that. It's not about how do I get this party from 0 to 1,000. It's about how do I create a body of work that attracts the kind of people that I want to come listen to my music and to like it so much and to like every single piece of music that I put out so much that they're going to tell all of their friends that they should come listen to your music too. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is to try to not lose people. And I'm not saying to just be like make the same song 100,000 times over again. That's not what I'm saying at all either. But if you listen, if you really analyze and look at the most successful artists of all time, you will find that all of their songs sound fairly similar or have at least some kind of common through line. And I understand what you're saying, that the common through line between congas and bounce beat is that it's both go-go. But outside of DC, nobody knows what that shit is. So I'm just saying that it's a common through line for us because that's what we're accustomed to. But for people outside of the area, it's not a common through line because they don't understand. You know what I mean? So
I feel like you got to make it to where it's like we are something, and that's another thing where I think that the go-go has. It's like people will say go-go is too raw, or is this too. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. To me, just like how I said, it's just like rock. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like when rock and roll came out, everybody was like, no, it's too this, it's too that. You had to accept it for what it was.
Feed it to them.
At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Then the people that actually gave it a chance or they gave it a whatever, because if you always say, oh, we got to water down or we got to do this, then nobody is never going to get it. When is everybody going to get it? You know what I'm saying? So you still got to do what you do, but like how y'all was doing and like how we got the mindset, just do it structured, just do it right. But still in that, still do what you do, still put out what we put out this is Gogo. Yeah, just like how you say, we know, they gonna have to know too. We got congos, we got roller that's Gogo. You know what I'm saying? It's live. We can open a hi-hat on the congo.
I'm not saying that you can't do both. I'm saying there can be
you never know.
There can be Common and there can be Little Yachty. I'm just saying they can't be the same artist.
No, I know that. That's what I'm saying. But and this is my point. It's like Gogo is the music. I think we taking the music and the artist and put it in two different. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the music. It's like if I can give.
Yeah, I'm talking about an artist. I'm talking about an artist.
Like let's say Meek Mill. I could put Meek Mill on a Settle Thoughts Congo joint, but like a nice joint. You know what I'm saying? And he rapping. And then I could put him on a bounce beat joint and he'll get into Meek Mill or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's just that the beat, you know what I'm saying? But it's still different, but he's still that same artist. And that's still would probably work because he didn't done stuff like that. He didn't did Dreams and Nightmares, and then he do the like the crunk songs. Everybody, Lil Wayne done the Oh How to Love, and then he do the the whatever. You know what I'm saying? That it's like the all artists flow on different beats. Jay-Z have done Song Cry, and then he do the Dirt Off Your Shoulders. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just the same artist on different beats on different songs, which what I feel like Gogo is the different beats, the different whatever artists you put on them beats, it's gonna be, you know what I'm saying, like they're gonna do their thing to that beat, but it's still under the go, and they're gonna know that this is a Congo Gogo, this is a bounce beat, and they're gonna have to get it. But exactly. You gotta to them just in the right way so that they can, you know what I'm saying, so that they can respect it. Because that's another thing. I don't think a lot of people respect the Gogo because what they know or what they hear. Like it's like they'll hear a Gogo song and it'll be, like people come to DC all the time, famous people, and they'll hear something on the radio what they play on whatever, and it's a remix. Okay. It's nothing that, you know what I'm saying? Like it's, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's nothing to respect. It's like you can't. That was a good song that they made, and it was structured. It sounded good, and it was mixed, and it was a perfect song, and it sounded good, but it was Gogo. Oh my goodness, who made that? It's never that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So we got to make, you know what I'm saying, to make them respect it, and then after they respect it, this is what it is.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with him. I'm like saying that's just like when Jill Scott did His Love. Everybody, you can go on there on YouTube right now. Everybody clearly know where the sound is from. But if you come to DC itself, it's gonna be like, okay, you ain't gonna get that same type of vibe most likely, because that's just because of the people who do Gogo don't push out that same type of material. But if they did, it's like if people did it like that, then you can't lose. It'd be on that type of level. Mm-hmm. So even if let's say if bands, I feel like this, if bands got artists that was from here and use them to their advantage. So let's say you could take hit up Ari Lennox and be like, how much you charge for a song? Let's make an original song featuring Ari Lennox, or let's hit up Raheem Devon, let's hit up Wale. You know what I'm saying? Use the same way that they've used Gogo to their advantages.
But then that's when the money comes in. That's when it's fucked up. Because who got nobody in Gogo got the money for that?
Right. Shit, well, you can't look at it like you can't even look at it like that. It's all you got to look at long term. It's about like shit. Okay, if it's 10 people in one band, you be like, all right, I bet everybody put up 500. They want X money.
I get it. Like a Polo on them. It's like like they used to have like the artists come to the show, and that's the stuff getting into. It's like actually get them more actual records. You know what I'm saying? Because they would pay them to come to the shows.
You gotta pay to play.
But it's like after you, it's like nobody, and that's why it got to be more structured so that we can do it like that. Because say for instance, if you say, okay, how much do it cost for whoever, Lil Yachty or Uzi to come to the studio? They come to the studio, you got a band in there that's gonna do what? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody gonna be thinking. I gotta have the songs ready. The songs ready to go, just like same studio. Have everything perfect, whatever. Let them listen to it. Oh yeah, I get on that. You got the money, do it and keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? But that's the whole point. It's still got you got to give them something structured because you're not. First of all, ain't nobody going to pay a bunch of money to have somebody come to something that's they don't even know what's gonna happen.
Exactly.
Like, oh, let's come to the studio with the band and try to do something. Like, nah.
Well, if you build something that creates some buzz,
Mm-hmm.
you won't have to pay those artists up front. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
I tried to get Wale on the original version of Welcome to DC. He didn't do it. Once Welcome to DC blew up on the radio, yeah, we had the remix with Gabby Benet, Don Chu, Big G, and Wale.
Mm-hmm.
Guess how much I paid Wale to get on that record up front.
Exactly. But it took that and doing it right for them to, you know what I'm saying? That's why I think it's like we all saying the same thing with starting with structure. And that's what all the bands and whoever's in Gogo got to do. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to start with the structure. We got to start with originality. You know what I'm saying? Like we need to start making like some type of joints where we do, you know, like Malachi can do some, you know, where it's just, you know, original song Sundays or something where you'll only play an original song. You know what I'm saying? Like something that'll motivate because it's like, what do people get? It's like nobody even cared. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody, you know, like everybody just lazy and content with going and getting $800 or whatever, if that. You know what I'm saying? And nobody, you know, it's a more of a, you know, give me a little bit of money, and then people actually loving it, actually really trying to do something, really actually trying to make stuff. And that's why when you got people that really love it and really make stuff, like I didn't spend more money in the studio than I ever have making any money off of Gogo. You know what I'm saying? I make more money everywhere else, but you know what I'm saying? I didn't spend way more money in studio time and doing this and trying to perfect it because this is something that I love doing, and I'm gonna keep doing it until I, you know, until whatever.
Right. Well, so speaking of interesting concepts and you know original music Sundays or whatever, which maybe we'll have to figure out how to make that work. Somebody, a little birdie, told me that y'all got something special coming up. What? Why don't you give the world the news about what's going on, Andrew?
Oh, okay. Oh, you mean okay? We since like we are, you know, like everybody was doing a little battle thing and you know playing songs back to back, stuff like that. So you know, I was talking to some people about it. You know, I got a couple people that know people. So my man Wally, he was like, man, don't know, you know, like I was like, who could I play some of my songs up against? Like I can't play up against the band. He was like, you know. So I was trying to figure out something that makes sense. Then they was like, you know, my man Adam the beat, like he be producing and making stuff. So you know, they had told me about him, and I was like, all right, well, cool, let's make it happen. I listened to some stuff. I was like, oh yeah, just it go. Like we can do something to where it'll bring more awareness to like Gogo producers. Cause even with us, I know it's probably a lot of songs that we probably did that people don't even know. You know what I'm saying? Especially with me, I know. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of songs that I made like from scratch for TCB, but they probably don't know. You know what I'm saying? And so it's stuff that could bring awareness to, you know, Gogo producers and stuff like that. And in the meantime, like have fun from that. And after that, hey, you know, everybody, hey, hit us up. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's get some stuff done. So,
all right. When is it? Where is it? How can people see it? And how do they find out about it?
well, how we gonna do that, Ant?
Shit, I say we do it like how everybody else been doing it. Do it
Yeah,
on
Instagram.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, do it like that. I set it up like that. You know what I'm saying? Have a Gogo version of Versus TV.
All right.
Yeah. So
when is it, Drew?
What'd you say?
When is it gonna be?
June 7th. So
At
it
what
ain't gonna be next. It ain't gonna be next Sunday, but the Sunday after that. And probably gonna do like around 8.
Mm-hmm.
June 7th at 8 p.m.
June 7th, 8 p.m. We're gonna put out you know, more stuff on the page. Like, you know, we gotta make the flyer and all that stuff.
Okay, what's the Instagram handle that it's gonna be on?
Probably gonna be on Ants.
Okay, which is Ant _ on the beat. Is that right?
Yep.
_ and it's the beat, right? DA.
Yep.
Yeah, because all they do is basically just get on Instagram and just go like, you know, just song like that. Right.
And I'm putting it up. So can you see it on the bottom of the screen? I just want to make sure this information is right because this is going up on YouTube afterwards, and so we can push people towards it. And I just want to make sure the info is right. All right.
Yeah.
Go producer battle, June 7th, 8 p.m. at Ant on the Beat. We'll help promote it and push it as well. I talked to Drew, I talked to you pretty often, but I talked to you a couple weeks ago, and we're gonna I've been talking to some other folks too, and I think the future of Gogo might be producers, and so we're gonna structure is my thing, so that's we're gonna work on that and see what we can make happen. So might already got your first artist, or Wiley B, Chuck Brown's son. He's been trying to make some music, you know what I mean? So yeah, man. So, all right, cool, guys.
Don't forget the Beat Your Feet dances too. They've been doing a lot of work. Also, I know me personally, I've been doing a lot of little songs with them too as well. They've been doing that whole little movement as far as
Crazy Legs hit me up the other day actually, and we sort of had the same discussion. I didn't know him before, but he had watched some of these and reached out to me, and put me in contact with a couple other producers as well. So I don't want to give too much away, but I got something cooking. You know what I mean? So, and I know normally I would have been in more frequent contact, but this show is actually taking a little bit more time and energy than I had anticipated than it was. So, so starting next week, it's going to be, I'm cutting the day. It's going to be just Wednesday through Friday starting next week. But yeah, so I'll definitely be in touch with both of you guys, and let's take this shit into the future, man.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah, that's what's up.
All right. That's what's up. Well, guys, thank you very much for coming on. Apologies to you. Apologies to everybody for the smoke detector, and then the popcorn, and then the fire engine going in the. Yeah, so it's been exciting, but
that's Cali life.
Yeah,
Hollywood on them hills. You got all them problems.
No, I'm in Long Beach. I'm in Long Beach. No, I'm not in Hollywood today. The place I work out of in Hollywood has been closed for 2 months because of the coronavirus. So hopefully I can get back up there soon. But now I'm at the crib in Long Beach right now. But all right, well, thanks so much, man. Appreciate it, and good to talk to you as always. And we'll see you guys soon. All right.
I bet.
All right. Have a good one. All right, thank you everybody for tuning in to Gogotalx, brought to you by Gogotalx. Really appreciate it. Please subscribe and click the little bell icon at the top so that you can see what the upcoming shows are. And I'm trying to remember who we have tomorrow. I should have had that up already. I apologize. Anyway, you can just go to gogotalx.co. It's up in the corner, and you can see who's up for tomorrow. If you want to schedule, you can schedule the. You can just click watch and then click schedule a reminder, and it'll remind you, when the show's about to start. So you can do that for any of the upcoming episodes that have been posted. Got a lot of good shows coming up, a lot of, great information. Also, gogotalx.co/shop. We have, I launched some t-shirts. So I'm going to run these little commercials here. So make sure you head over there. The Gogo is Fuck t-shirts, Gogo AF. So make sure you get those. There's sweatshirts too. I know it's starting to get a little warmer out there. So, but it's for your chilly nights. You need to look fresh. So make sure you go get those right now. gogotalx.co/shop. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow.
Girls on me, on the dance floor, all eyes on me, party like a rock star. You can find me in VIP, all eyes on me, yeah, where the girls are. This is how your night should be.